Louisville in the second round in Lexington. You have Creighton, who just made the Big East championship game but finished second in the Big East, having to go play Louisville in Lexington in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? Like to be able to, an 8 seed for Louisville, I'm a little bit shocked that that's where we're at. I thought they were probably a 5 or 6 seed, at least from a talent perspective. And I'm not a bracketologist. I just know what I'm looking at. That's a good team. They're going to get Rain Smith back for the NCAA tournament, hopefully. That's a great matchup, though, with Creighton. I think, Louisville's going to be able to space it out a little bit. I like Louisville in that game because I feel like they're humming a little bit offensively as long as they can shake off that last one. But to be able to have a de facto home game in your state, I think that's massive and really a best case scenario for Pat Kelsey and company.
Yep. Randolph, Michigan, UC San Diego, Texas A&M, Yale. That feels like the pod where we are going to get the most upset picks. And I can tell you right now that my single favorite upset pick in this entire bracket is Yale against Texas A&M. That's the one that's the one I'm circling. That was the one when Yale got in. I was like, you know how good it would be if Yale ended up getting matched up with Texas A&M here in the first round. Lo and behold, they got Texas A&M.
That is the matchup when you look at it, and I was scared to say it because I was wanting A&M to go to advance. I still think because of what happened a year ago, I think it's no surprise there. I think A&M gets it done. I think they're better than people have given them credit for. Just throughout the year. I mean, this was a game coming into this year. We saw Texas A&M not struggle out the gate as they have in years past. This team's been pretty consistent all year long. I think Yale pulling off the upset a year ago. They're not sneaking up on anybody. Everyone knows how good they are. Credit to Coach Jones getting it done up there. 3 tournament appearances in 4 years for those guys. But I got the Aggies moving on.
Yeah, James Jones is the most underrated. Go ahead, Teal.
I'm big on that. I'm big on that too for a couple of reasons. You have Jurek Phelps and Wade Taylor IV. Both of those guys can get buckets off the bounce, and they attack the glass. Buzz Williams has those guys playing tough, and they really board. I'm not saying it, but I'm not saying it. A couple of years ago, when Miami made the Final Four, it was kind of the same mix of guys or mix of personalities: creative shot makers and dudes that'll board. I think Texas A&M can make the Sweet 16, if not the Elite Eight.
Wow. Okay. I see what you're doing there, T.O. I see what you're doing there. Goodman, in the bottom half of that bracket. Yeah, there you go. In the bottom half of that bracket, we have Ole Miss plays the winner of San Diego State, North Carolina. Iowa State plays Lipscomb. Marquette plays New Mexico, and Michigan State gets Bryant. I want to start with this because it kind of got buried in the news here. TJ Altenberger said that Keyshawn Gilbert isn't going to be available for, I believe, the NCAA tournament. And that is a massive, massive piece of news to come out while the selection committee or the selection show is still going on.
It is. I mean, it's huge, except for the fact that, honestly, he hasn't given him anything in a month. So, yes, if they were going to get the Keyshawn Gilbert from November or December back, I would say it's crushing. They weren't. They were never going to get that guy back. So, at this point, they are what we think they are, which is potentially a Sweet 16 team. They're no longer a Final Four threat, in my opinion, without the Keyshawn Gilbert of the non-conference slate, in which he was probably their best player, certainly their best scorer back then. So, yeah, Iowa State, that opens it up, Rob. That really opens it up because Lipscomb, which is down the street from me right here, you don't think Lenny Akoff, one of the best coaches in America, one of the best mid-major coaches in America, is saying, yeah, maybe. I mean, probably not, but, we got a chance here. And the Ole Miss, North Carolina, well, first, North Carolina's got to get by San Diego State, which I think they will. I actually think they'll win that one. And it would set up a really fun game because Ole Miss is not big. So if you're Carolina, you kind of like these matchups that you've gotten. The big kid from Magoon from San Diego State, they're hoping he comes back. Brian Dutcher told me he expects him to back, but he's been hurt, and he's a beast of a rim protector. So he'll give Carolina problems. But if they can get by San Diego State, they actually match up fairly well against Ole Miss because, they got Malik Dia, and they don't have a lot of size.
That to me, that's a really, really big if San Diego State or North Carolina can get past San Diego State. I'm a big San Diego State believer here. T.O., I'm going to go to you on this one because I know you love these two dudes as much as I love these two dudes. Cam Jones, Donovan Dent, first round of the NCAA tournament. This is what we sign up for, man. When this bracket was coming out, the very first thing that I noticed about the South region, outside of, Yale pulling off the upset, go Eli's Bula Bula, Cam Jones against Donovan Dent. That is appointment television, man. Sign me up for that.
Hey, guys, that's thunder versus lightning. Like, Donovan Dent's one of the quickest guys with the ball in his hands ever. But I think it's less about that matchup and more Donovan Dent against Stevie Mitchell. Like, you want to talk about one of the best defensive guards in college basketball against Donovan Dent. To me, that's appointment television. What I'm more worried about if I'm Marquette is Nelly Jr. Joseph in the front court. Who's going to be your bully in the front? Because Ben Gold is a good player. Can he pull Nelly Jr. Joseph away from the goal? Maybe, but there are some big guys for New Mexico. And Nelly Jr. Joseph in the Mountain West tournament averaged like 17 rebounds a game. Like, he's a beast down there. And does Marquette have the size to handle something like that? They've played against really good fives in the Big East, of course. But Stevie Mitchell, Donovan Dent, great matchup. And then, do you have enough shooting outside of that to really make things click? But New Mexico's a really good team now. And Marquette, reeling a little bit, but at the same time still have enough talent.
Yeah. All right. Randolph, I'm really excited that you're on here right away. You are the perfect guy to ask this question to because of the conference tournament broadcast that you had. I said as soon as they won that that you don't want to see Bryant in the first round of the NCAA tournament if you're a 2 seed or potentially a 1 seed, depending on where they got, because they got length, they got athletes, they got Rafael Pinzon, who's been awesome. They have Earl Timberlake, who was a former 5-star recruit. What do you like about Bryant? And they get Michigan State, who's been hot. Do they have a chance to win that game?
They do. And we said that, Rob. We were saying if they could I thought getting the 15 seed, having to play against a 2, if they got, Tennessee or one of these teams, I was a little bit worried because depending on the matchup. But Bryant, I'm telling you, Earl Timberlake is starting that point. He's 6'6", 220. He's basically bullying your point guard. And then, after that, like you said, you talked about Rafael Pinzon, Withers is there. Those guys stretch the defense. They're just 6'6", 6'6", 6'8", 6'8", 6'11". That's their starting lineup. They switch everything. They fourth total rebounding team in NCAA, athletic length. The only concern that I have for Bryant is just depth. This is probably one of the deepest teams in the tournament in Michigan State that plays 10 guys. And when they come off the bench, they're just rolling. Them in Florida, I think, don't lose a lot when they go to their bench. That's the only thing that concerns me about them. Ja'Kai Robinson's coming from the bench from a Miami 4-star, coming out of high school. He's coming off the bench, but not known for a score. But defensively, this will be a slugfest. And then it comes down to how's the matchup going with guards. This will be a rock fight. Will bully ball work for Bryant? Or with the depth of the Michigan State guards, an emerging star, I think, in the Big Ten. In Jace.
Yep. All right. Let's make some picks here. I'm hoping that we get a guest here in a minute, but before we do, let's make some picks in the South region. Goodman, I'm going to start with you. Give me your upset special. Give me the one team here that you like to pull off an upset, whether it's an 11 seed or something like that, winning in the first round, whether it's a 4 seed upsetting a 1. Who is your favorite upset pick in this tournament or in this bracket of the tournament?
The Tritons, baby. The Tritons. UC San Diego over Michigan. They shoot the hell out of the ball. They take care of the ball. They have a star. They have a hell of a coach. I think they get him because I just don't think Michigan is built for the NCAA tournament. Their guard play is questionable. They run everything through Danny Wolf. I get it. Donaldson's played well lately, but I still worry about the Wolverines. And, again, the Tritons shoot the hell out of it.
T.O.? We might have lost T.O. Randolph, you go.
He's got to go to the other bathroom stall. There he is. T.O., you there?
Reconnect your mic. Randolph, you go while we wait for T.O.
I'd go, if I'd called it upset, I'd go New Mexico State and Marquette. New Mexico.
New Mexico beat Marquette. Now is your chance to prove you're smarter than the field of 68. We're hosting a Survivor contest with our partner Splash Sports. There's a $25 entry fee, a 25 entry max in the contest, and more than 1,700 spots available, which means there's a $40,000 max prize for the winner. Survivor is the future of March Madness. Each day you pick a team to win. If they win, you advance. We'll also be running a free to enter bracket contest as well as a second chance Survivor in the Sweet 16. So prove you know more ball than the field of 68 on Splash Sports. My favorite upset pick is Yale over Texas A&M, and the reason for that is Yale. What they do defensively is they don't let you penetrate. They force you to take tough threes off the bounce, and I know that's kind of what Texas A&M does. But Texas A&M is not a very good three-point shooting team. Yale's top 25 in the country in defensive rebounding rate, and they don't turn the ball over. The things that they do well matches up really well with the things that Texas A&M tries to force you to do, and it just, to me, it kind of screams strength on strength. And I'll bet on that 13 seed, man. They've been there before. They've won it before. They know how to win a game in a tournament. They beat Baylor in 2016 under James Jones. They beat Auburn last season. So give me the Yale Bulldogs. T.O., you had another upset pick or just New Mexico?
I think for right now, I'm going to do a little bit more digging, but I think Yale, how often does it happen 2 years in a row? Does that happen often? Doesn't feel like it does. Like you sneak up on somebody in year one, the second year it's like.
That's why I said last year. I also say this to you. I don't think you can. You're not going to beat Texas A&M by bullying them. And that's essentially what you're saying.
That's the thing. They do the exact same things well.
I picked them. That matchup is Yale is a physical team, but you can't beat. You're not bullying the bully.
That's
fair
right.
enough.
And then UC San Diego, that's a pretty good pick too, because like from a metrics perspective, they're really, really good, and they had a terrific season. So don't be shocked. Michigan might be a little leg tired coming off of 3 games in 3 days. You never know, and that's what makes it great.
All right, we're going to move to the East Region here in 1 second, but Goodman, give me your Elite Eight and Final Four pick from this region. Then T.O., then Randolph, then I'll give you mine. So Goodman first.
I mean, I'm going Auburn here for sure. I love their what? What are we laughing at?
Somebody came in and stole.
Someone came into his bathroom.
Just walk in. All right, go ahead, Zoom call. He's just going to come over and start grabbing stuff.
What are you letting somebody just come into your space for? I mean, you would never do that on the court. On the court, you would never let somebody come into my.
The elbows were high. Elbows were high.
All right.
Hey, T.O., lock the door, bro.
All right, I'm going Auburn Final Four, and I think they beat Michigan State. I just feel like Tom Izzo, this is the year. This is the year that he kind of gets back, and I'm not sure he gets to. Again, I don't think he beats Auburn, but I think he gets close to that Final Four, and they've had a magical season in which most of us thought it was over for Tom Izzo and the national relevance of having a chance to get deep in the tournament.
T.O.?
Oh, I kind of want to pick against Auburn, but I don't think I can do it. So I think Auburn, I'm telling you, that second game, though, in Kentucky, again, if Louisville's able to pull it off, that'll be a home crowd. That's going to be different. But I think Auburn ends up beating Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Iowa State is the team that concerns me the most. I had coming in. I thought they'd be playing better, obviously without gear, but I don't think they're going to go very far. I agree with Jeff on this. I think it's Michigan State and Auburn coming out.
Yeah, I'm at Michigan State and Auburn too. I actually have Michigan State going to the Final Four out of this region after saying, like, I think it's going to be this is just going to be eventually a coronation of Auburn. I think that Michigan State matches up with them well. They have like 17 different big guys that they can throw at Janai Broome, who isn't a great free throw shooter. I don't think that that Auburn is great at kind of preventing dribble penetration, and that's what Michigan State is going to try to do. They can play in transition with them. They're not going to be scared. It feels like, you guys remember 2019, the Zion Williamson team, when with Zion Williamson on Duke, and everyone thought they were a shoo-in for the Final Four, and Michigan State comes along, and Cassius Winston and Kenny Goins hits a game-winning 3 and sends them to the Final Four. I'm predicting that will happen again out of the South Regional in Atlanta.